Hi everyone, it's Catherine, and in today's tutorial we are going to be making this monster birthday cake. A birthday cake was requested by ChaewonLY, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, whose username used to be Cookie Wookie Dough. And I was thinking, there's so many birthday cake tutorials out there, how can I make my birthday cake unique? And then I remembered this birthday cake that I made for my 13th birthday, which is a little crazy, but I thought, why not make it how I imagined it would look? So let's get started. To start out, I'm going to make the ice cream cones, so I'm using the Fimo soft clay in the color Sahara, and I'm just going to roll that out into two equally thin pieces. I'm going to be texturing the two pieces of clay using the grip on my needle tool, and you can also find this print on an X-Acto knife or many other metal tools. Next, I'm going to be shading the clay using some chalk pastels that I scraped off with my X-Acto knife. If the paintbrush left any lint on your clay, you can remove that using a needle tool or an X-Acto knife. Next, I am cutting two circles out using a small circle clay cutter. Next, I am just rolling these circles into a cone shape and using a paintbrush to help shape them. I also rolled the tips of the cones into sharper points and textured and shaded the edges. While the cones are pre-baking, I'm going to begin making the cake itself, and so for this I'm using some scrap clay, and for the frosting I'm going to be using some purple clay from Primo, and I'm going to be mixing that with some liquid Sculpey to get a frosting consistency. To make the marshmallow eyes, I am just rolling out a thick snake of white clay and cutting out 4 pieces, and then I am rounding out the edges using my fingers. To make the little M&M pupils, I'm taking some brown clay and cutting out small pieces and then rolling those and pressing those onto one face of the marshmallows. Before I pre-bake the marshmallows, I'm taking a toothpick and poking a small hole into the bottom of each of them. While the marshmallows are pre-baking, I'm just adding some frosting to the bottom of my cake to help it stick on the tile, and I am then frosting the entire cake. I have neglected the ice cream cone horns long enough, so I am now ready to trim them with my X-Acto knife and add them to the top of the cake. Now I'm just trimming the toothpicks to determine the height that I want the marshmallow eyes to be. And now came one of the most stressful steps ever, and so I took the tweezers and I grabbed the first pre-baked marshmallow and I dipped it in the frosting, and I was having a little bit of trouble with this because the frosting isn't very liquidy and I couldn't dip the marshmallow in far enough because my tweezers were covering up quite a bit of it. And so eventually, after I made the second marshmallow, I realized I just kind of had to go with the flow and go with the messiness. And you can see that I'm trying to clean it up here, but that didn't really work. And it was also right now that I forgot that I needed some liquid clay to cover the tip of the toothpick. And so I poured that onto the tile and stuck the toothpick inside of the marshmallow, and then I took the tweezers and I pushed the toothpick and the marshmallow into the cake, which was also really scary because it was super hard to push it into the clay without dropping the marshmallow. And after finally being successful with the second marshmallow, I pushed that into the cake. And as I mentioned earlier, it was here that I realized that I kind of just had to go with the messiness, so I ended up adding a little more frosting and then smoothing that out. And then I have no idea what exactly happened here with the third marshmallow, but I tried to fix the placement of the marshmallow and something happened and the marshmallow flew off the toothpick. And now I have finally finished with the fourth marshmallow. We are still missing one very important element of the cake, which is the lips, so I mixed some translucent black and red clay until I got a nice deep red translucent color, and then I rolled that into a very thin sheet, and I cut the shape of the lips that I wanted. After baking, trimming away the excess frosting, and glazing the lips, ice cream cones, and pupils of the marshmallow eyes, we are all finished with the monster birthday cake. Thank you so much again to ChaewonLY for the request. I'm sorry it took so long to do, but I hope your birthday was absolutely wonderful, and I will see you all in my next tutorial. Bye everyone!